How's it going, gang? It's a final render here, and last night we were given the third and presumably final vault raid for a while for Fallout 76. There have been no more vaults announced to open anytime soon, so we have got 3 vault missions ready to talk about and learn from. We were given the mission Washout for Vault 94 last night, and this is honestly my favourite of the 3 vault raids. But this video isn't just going to be talking about Washout, we're going to talk a little bit about Washout, but then we're also going to discuss the vault raids as a whole, now that they've all been released and we've been able to see them all. So, Washout, honestly my favourite vault raid so far. It was the least confusing, the enemies were dangerous but not tanky, the puzzles were the most forgiving but also some of the most in-depth. This is a vault where actually having a pen and paper and writing down the answers to the puzzles ahead of time will actually save you a lot of time and be really useful. It feels like you're actually solving a puzzle, whereas the first 2 vault raids, their puzzles for the most part were find X amount of items and bring them to object B in order to solve the puzzle. Whereas this one, you've actually got to do some thinking, you've actually got to do some in-depth discussion about how to do it effectively in order to save time in the most effective way. And honestly, I think it is the best one for that, just because it's the most streamlined, least confusing, is a fantastic experience overall. It's also probably the easiest and the shortest. But one thing which is missing from this one, which really would have made it fantastic, is that there's no big boss battle at the end of this one. The first vault raid, we had a very tough enemy we had to beat in a very short amount of time in order to win. That was awesome. Having a boss battle at the end of these vault raids should be something every single vault raid has. And the second vault raid, which I really don't want to talk about because that was, honestly, in my opinion, a huge disaster for the vault raids, the second one we were given. But this one, I think, is definitely the best one we had so far. Even if it isn't the hardest one, I think it's the most streamlined and enjoyable one. So, with all that being said, let's talk about the vault raids as a whole. Now we have seen 3 different vault raids, all of which gave very different opinions and had a myriad of different issues, which were often unique to each raid itself. So, let's talk about what I like about the vault raids as a whole and what I dislike. Firstly, I adore that we have finally got some high level content for the game that isn't just killing the Scorchbeast Queen again and again and again. Some people have been unhappy with this because they say that they are unhappy that they can't participate in the vault raids because they're too low level. But honestly, it's just kind of a get good scenario essentially. You know, there are people who've been playing this game for 9, nearly 10 months now, who have wanted high-level content for a very long time. And every single piece of DLC that has come out for Fallout 76, with the exception of maybe Project Paradise, has been aimed at all skill levels. So thank you very much, Bethesda, for actually giving us some high-level content. We are very happy with that. And if you're unhappy that you can't participate, just keep playing the game, level up, and you'll be able to join us in these vault raids soon. This is something you should be aiming for, not something you should just be expecting to given because you enjoy the game and you want to play them so much. So, that is something which I want to address with the high-level content, but also, one thing which I love about the vault raid is the location itself. Vault 94 is awesome. It definitely reminds me a lot of the Project Paradise, the Arctos Pharma Lab, where there is just vegetation everywhere and nuclear flora and fauna, which is really dangerous for your health. It generally feels like a very cool Fallout location. Definitely feels like a very modernized and updated version of that one which was in New Vegas, I believe, where the Gek went crazy, same as here. Very cool to see a more updated version of that same concept. And also, something which is really cool about the vault raids is that there is definitely good steps towards the future of Fallout 76. The fact that these are instants, people can't come in and bother us, I think is fantastic. I would love to see the day where maybe after Wastelanders comes out, you are able to just play the game entirely by yourself once the instant tech is ready to go. I know that may not be in the interest of the overall developers as a whole, but personally I think if you just had a mode where there would be no kind of big community events and only the main questing in there and you could do it by yourself, a lot of people would definitely be willing to give that a go, because some people just simply don't like online interactions with other players too much. But if you gave them the option to do it instanced, then that's fantastic. So great to see that we can actually see some instants in tech ready to go and getting ready for the future. And also, just something which I really love about it is just the fact that they are a good blend of puzzles and monsters. It's not just about killing big monsters, it is also about solving puzzles. And some of them are generally quite difficult to solve, and you definitely have to manage your time with them, which I think is a really cool addition to the vault raids, and is very cool. Another thing which is really important to note is that these aren't necessarily traditional raids, so to speak. If you think of a raid in like MMO or ESO, they are very different to what we got here, but this is kind of 76's raid. It's very important to not try to compare them, because it is a very unique game, Fallout 76. You know, it is a single player game that has been put into a multiplayer world, so therefore we can't just adapt what has been working for more typical MMOs in the past and expect them to work here. And I think there is definitely great steps in the right direction with the design of these concepts and these vault raids. But now, let's talk about the negatives with these vault raids, and honestly, I think there are definitely negatives that need to be addressed. Let's just get this out of the way first. Let's talk about tech stuff first. It's very boring to talk about, and I'm not a software engineer, so I don't have the answer to tech stuff, but these things must be said just to re-emphasize how annoyed people in the Fallout 76 community are about tech issues. The amount of lag we have inside these vault raids is unacceptable. These are timed challenges where opening a terminal and opening a door can sometimes take 30 seconds to a minute to open in a timed challenge. Absolutely unacceptable. There have been many occasions where people have failed missions because there is too much lag inside these servers. The footage you're looking at right now is us beating Washout, but we did this in the survival mode. And in the survival mode, there is absolutely zero lag, which is fantastic. Very happy there is a way to play it without lag, but it's only a matter of time until people realize this, and then just everybody migrates to survival for the vault raids, meaning players will be vulnerable when they enter the vault to other players and griefers. But it also means that if you want to just play on the adventure mode for the convenience of doing so, you can't do that. Everybody's got to go to the main menu, go in survival mode, and it's just unnecessary. It's unnecessary faff and can only be fixed by the engineers behind these servers. That's the only thing that can fix it. We as players can't do anything about it. It's down to those engineers to get that working. But that being said though, I feel as if there are some good things about these raids as well to do with the tech. For example, there's no real kind of game-breaking bugs in this, which involves you to kind of cheat at the vault raid. It doesn't appear to have made like duping glitches or anything bad like that. But there is one thing, which is very important, that's only surfaced in the last few days, which is absolutely unacceptable. And that is that due to certain conditions, very hard to replicate, but there is some video proof of it happening, some players are losing all of their items when certain types of glitches occur to do with connecting to these instanced servers. People have lost every single item their character is carrying, and that is an absolute no. I'm not going to discuss it so much because I'm very, very certain that the developers behind it are very much aware of how much this is an issue. But guys, so many Fallout 76 players are teetering on a knife edge as to whether they're going to stay or go. And something like that can cause a mass exodus of people. If one person in a community game loses all their items, then their friends who they squad up with may also leave the game as well. I know I shouldn't need to say this because I'm sure you're very much aware, but please ensure that stuff like this, players losing all their items, never happens again. It's happened once, it's probably happened a few other times and not reported. Get it fixed now, nip it in the butt before Wastelanders comes out. This is very important to the future of the game as a whole. And also something which is very important about the technical limitations of these actual vault raids is just that simply some of the puzzles themselves rely too much on simple fetch quests. And this is also kind of a problem with the design of them. 2 of the 3 vault raids' as main puzzles were find X amount of items and bring them to X amount of items over there. Very, very lame. The third one definitely had much less of that, and it was much more enjoyable for it. So when we get our second set of vault raids, less fetching of items. Less fetching of items, I think that'll definitely be a very welcomed thing. And also something which is very cool about the first one, which was notably absent in the second and third vault raid, was a boss at the end of it. When you look at typical MMOs and stuff like that, in raids you will typically have a boss, sometimes multiple bosses for you to defeat, and this was only present in one of them. So please, can we get more boss battles at the end of these? Because that was honestly the most exciting part of the first vault raid, having a huge DPS battle right at the end in order to beat it within the time limit. And also something which is very important to note about these vault raids as well, is that can we please get it so that we have better rewards for completing these vault raids? Many people have said, I'm not even going to attempt these vault raids because they are laggy, take too long, take a huge amount of resources, and the reward is never, ever worth it. There is an RNG chance that we can get a plan for a certain piece of armor, and we get a very small amount of steel to craft said armor pieces, and we need a lot of steel to complete the full set. And people do not like this. They don't want RNG for their rewards. They don't want to grind it multiple times in order to get the reward. They want to complete it once and be rewarded for how successfully they do it. Maybe make it so that if you do it in an amazing amount of time on expert mode, you get a huge reward. Massive reward. Maybe enough to complete half of one of those sets of armors. But if you do it on the regular novice mode, then yes, you get less. But please, no more RNG for the plans. Just give us the plans we want to actually make. and make it so that the reward is actually worth it. But as a whole, the Vault Raids, I think, are a very good addition to Fallout 76, but they must improve. They absolutely must improve. This could be a staple of Fallout 76, having all these amazing Vault Raids that are really tough, that people really, really enjoy. And the first 3 were a very valiant attempt, with the exception of the second one. But I think there is definitely room to improve, and this could be fantastic. As a whole, I don't think the Vault Raids that we have so far are necessarily a success, but they are a fantastic stepping stone for the future and definitely set a template which can be improved upon and bring some fantastic content for the next wave of Vault Raids. So thank you very much for watching this video, people. I hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully you agree with some of my points, and hopefully you can kind of enjoy the fact that I've tried to be balanced with this debate. I don't want it to be all negative, and I don't want it to be all positive either, but I just want people to realize that there is so much potential here. These Vault Raids can be amazing. However, the first 3 we have got are a very good stepping stone in order to improve. Baby steps with these things. This is the first time this has been tried by Fallout. It's the first time it's been tried by the Bethesda Studios at Austin. So please understand that things are always going to be ropey, but we definitely have high hopes for the future. And when everything does work and the cogs align, these Vault Raids are very good fun. But they could be so much better. So thank you very much for watching this video, people. Remember to check out all the cool Patreon people in the description below who help support the channel with their financial donations. And also please consider becoming a level 3 member. Becoming a level 3 member or a $5 Patreon member is a huge way to help the channel. It helps keep these videos going and really is an immeasurable way to help support this channel. So thank you very much for watching. I've been the Final Render, and you've been the audience. Remember to subscribe for more Fallout 76 videos with news, camp builds, and more. Bye bye for now.